Hey everyone, and today I'm going to be doing a request requested by Guinea Pig Lover 2996, I think. I'll have her link down in the description box. And she requested things I have for my hamster. And I'm also going to show you guys what you need for your hamster prior to getting the actual hamster. So first of all, you need a cage. I have one of these typical type cages with a plastic bin on the bottom and like metal wires lining the top. I really recommend these. Just make sure that if you have dwarf hamsters that I think I just woke him up. I'm sorry. Okay, so if you have dwarf hamsters, just make sure the bars are not wide enough for him to squeeze through, because most of these bar cages are made with like hamsters, like a Syrian hamster in mind. So you want to make sure they're small enough, the bars, and they're really easy to clean. I really recommend this. The only disadvantage to it, and this might be the only one, is the bars might rust, especially if your hamster likes to chew on them. So that's the cage I have. And then another type of cage is those aquariums, like fish tanks. A typical size aquarium for one hamster is a 10-gallon tank, and those you can pretty much find anywhere. And another type is, hold on one sec. You can also use plastic bins like these. Take off the tops and use some kind of grid cover. Aquariums and bins are really good for special needs hamsters because you can't really add second levels and it's really easy for them to move around. So another type of cage that you can get is one of these tube kinds, and these are really fun for the hamster, but it's really hard to clean. If you have these tubes, I recommend using bottle brushes. Those work, but it's kind of a really big hassle to clean, and it doesn't provide adequate air ventilation, so I'd rather not use these. I'd rather just use aquariums or bar cages. So for inside the cage, first of all, you need a wheel. This is not an option. This is very necessary. It's like a need for your hamster. And by the way, that's my hamster right there. So a lot of people like those kinds of silent spinners. If you have your hamster in your room, those are really good. It won't keep you awake at night. And these is just attached onto the bars of the cage, and you need a wheel. And then the second thing you need is water bottles and food bowls. Most hamsters like to sit inside the food bowl when they eat, so make sure it's not like teeny tiny. This one's okay for a dwarf hamster. And then you need a water bottle. Most hamsters would enjoy one of those drip feeders rather than a dish, because most of them will just hop right in and get themselves soaked, and most hamsters will not like water. So one of these plastic water bottles. The next thing you need is a hidey house. I have a purple igloo, and a lot of those, like a lot of people like those kinds of wooden logs, and you can add other fun toys. You need at least one chew toy in your cage. That is very necessary. Otherwise, your hamsters might chew on the wheel or hidey house or food bowl or water bottle and might break them. So I have a little paper towel roll back there, and that is what my hamster chews on. And I have another tunnel down there. Tunnels and all kinds of toys, those are not necessary, but they're nice to have for your hamster. They're fun. So that's basically all I have inside of the cage. And then you need bedding. I'd recommend using either Aspen bedding or Carefresh. This is what Aspen looks like. It's basically, it looks like regular wood shavings, sort of like sawdust, but they're aspen. And I recommend you not get pine or cedar because those can cause respiratory and liver problems. If it's kiln-dried pine, it's completely safe, but I'd rather just avoid it altogether. And another good type of bedding is Carefresh. Carefresh might be a bit more expensive. That's what it looks like in there. I use that for my guinea pigs. It's a lot more absorbent, but since dwarf hamsters don't need that kind of absorbent bedding, I might as well just save some money and get some aspen. That's the bedding you'll need. And then food. So you have two types of food you can choose from. You can either choose from a pelleted diet or a seed and nuts diet. Some people like to mix them both together. The food I use is Carefresh Complete. And one thing, if the food you have doesn't have an expiration date on the bag, on the package somewhere, then it's best to avoid it. Because those kinds of foods, you don't know when they made it and when it's going to go bad. So make sure you get a food that has an expiration date on it. So check the ingredients list. Make sure it's all safe for your hamster. My food is basically all pellets, but there's some corn and some seeds and millet in there. So I think I really recommend this. And just make sure that if you get a hamster food, make sure that there's not too much sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. Those are not too healthy for them. And then that is it for absolute needs. And now we're gonna talk about options. So over here I have one of those hamster balls. They're really good if you want to let your hamster outside of its cage. Just put him in his ball, and this allows for him to play all around the house, and he won't get stuck somewhere or go behind a piano or something. If you're getting a ball, I'd recommend first of all getting the size appropriate for your pet, and second of all, I'd recommend getting a non-colored one, a clear one, so your hamster can have like a better sense of sight of his surroundings, so everything won't be like tinted with blue or purple or something. And then these you don't really need to buy, but you can make them out of any cardboard box or anything. You can make like a small nesting box. I've kind of drilled in a couple of holes so I can attach it to the side of his cage, and then just add some shredded tissue paper or Carefresh that look like that, and stuff it in here and cut a bunch of holes on the side, make a bunch of entrances, and make it fun for your hamster. This is a great toy, a great way to entertain them. And just make sure that whatever you give your hamster, most likely your hamster's gonna chew on it or eat it, so make sure it's all safe. And then another thing you can get them is treats like these. This is a honey stick. It just came with a ball. It's not particularly very healthy for them. I recommend just getting a couple of veggies or some milk or bread as treats for your hamsters, but this is a store-bought treat, and these work. Just don't put it all inside his cage because this has honey and it's not very healthy for them. But this is one type of treat he can have. And then another thing is a vinegar and water solution. This I use because when I clean his cage, I usually spray the whole entire cage with this vinegar and water solution to get rid of all the germs and bacteria on it. It's all safe, so you don't need to go buy some of those pet deodorizers and that kind of stuff. Most ingredients in there are toxic to hamsters. Vinegar and water is probably the safest way to go because the water and the vinegar can get rid of the smell and the urine. And if your hamster happens to lick the cage, vinegar won't cause any harm. So that's probably the safest way to go. I also use this for my guinea pig cage, and I'll make a video on how to make it. So that is basically all you need for your hamster, and make sure you choose the right hamster. And I don't know if you see him right now, but he's sleeping on his wheel. Very cute. Hi, Rhino. Hey, what are you doing?